Ah, man. It's been a while since I've done this. Let's see if I still remember what I'm exactly doing here. Probably not, you know. You go away from doing something for a while, and you kind of have to get used to doing it once again, or get back into doing it, get back into the habit. I would say that for the most part. Either way, getting back into the habit is good. Especially since gotta prepare for. Ooh, let me see. What can I take out that could help? You might as well take this one out. This don't matter. There you go. Alright. Ah, man. This is gonna be a conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh boy. This is not fun. This is not fun. This is not fun at all. I hate that we're in this situation. I cannot lie. I hate that we're in this situation. It's the worst thing to be in this situation as a fan base. You know, you don't want to be in this situation, yet here we find ourselves in said situation. And I don't know what the resolution is regarding this. We kind of just have to wait and see. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. Quick stream here today. Just wanted to kind of discuss this. I've been talking about it in my last couple of videos about the market for Lamar Jackson in terms of how things are going. And I feel like we got to discuss it here today because I've been thinking about it lately, and I'm not sure if there's that big of a market, if there even is a market for Lamar Jackson. And if there isn't a market for Lamar Jackson, what do you do here? Because it seems like Baltimore was planning to utilize whatever offers Lamar got via the market to try and dictate his contract. They were going to use the market to dictate how much he should be paid for because they came to a stalemate and they couldn't agree on anything. So you use the market to try and dictate what his contract could be and see if you can match it. But if he's not getting any offers and the market's not there for him, what do? You're back to square one. And I've been discussing it and just thinking about it over the last several days, and it's really just interesting how you look at it. You're just thinking that there's several teams that could use a Lamar Jackson, but given the circumstances, in terms of what you have to give up to get a Lamar Jackson, how many teams are actually willing to do that? Because you're going to have to sign him to a major deal, and then you got to give up 2 first-round picks. How many teams are comfortable doing that? That becomes the question. So, yeah, we're just going to discuss it here briefly. Quick stream just to get back into it, just to talk about it. And we'll just go from here. We'll probably be discussing it, obviously, in the coming days, maybe in the coming weeks. Especially since, you know, yesterday was the official day that teams can start talking and negotiating with Lamar Jackson. Don't know how that's been going because we've heard no reports, so it's kind of been silent. But if there turns out to be no market for Lamar, what do you do if you're Lamar and what do you do if you're the Ravens? Because the whole reason they put him on this non-exclusive tag is because they want to utilize the market as a way to get the man his contract. The market will dictate his value and they'll just match it. That seems to be the plan the Ravens are trying to go with. But if there's nothing coming from the market, what do you do if you're the Ravens? And if you're Lamar Jackson, how do you go about this for the most part? Are you surprised EDC hasn't signed anyone yet? This is the Ravens. When have they ever been extremely active in the offseason or in free agency in terms of picking up guys? This has just always been the case. I mean, the Ravens have never been one of those teams that's just majorly active in signing these group of guys. You'll see that the Ravens are interested in a lot of players, but they never get them. That's why anytime I hear the Ravens are interested in a certain team, I don't care about it. They've been interested in a lot of players. Oh, we're interested in this player, we're interested in that player, and they just don't get them. So what's the point in talking about things being interesting? Either way, for me, I'm not surprised to see EDC hasn't signed anyone because the Ravens have never been a team that's straight up out the gate, boom, we're going to sign all these players. They've never been that type of franchise, and they're not going to turn into that franchise anytime soon. That's just how the case is. Like I just don't know what to do with that for the most part. I don't know how to assess the fact that they're never getting going, because you got all these teams making moves right now, free agency, and Baltimore is just being quiet. They're re-signing guys, they're cutting guys, and that's kind of just it. That's what the Ravens do. They always do that. They just move at their own pace for the most part. I think I got more confidence with keeping Lamar. I believe the only other team I could see getting him now are the Colts, and it ain't guaranteed they're interested in him. That's the thing. It's not even just about whether or not they're keeping Lamar. It's about whether or not they're going to be able to get a deal done. Because I'm looking at the market. I don't see any team willing to put up the type of money that because here's the thing. It's not even just about the money. If Lamar Jackson was a free agent, this is an entirely different conversation. But because he's on the non-exclusive tag, any team that wants him is going to have to give Lamar a max deal and then give up 2 first-round picks. How many teams want to give a quarterback a max deal and then surrender 2 first-round picks? That's very difficult to see happening. That's very difficult. Especially if you're trying to use those picks to build up the team. So, I don't know how big of a market there is for Lamar, even if there is. And for the people that might be interested, are they really willing to give up 2 first-round picks to get him and then have to sign him to a max contract? Are they really willing to do so? That's tough. And I think the same could be said if the Ravens chose to try and trade Lamar. Because think about it. You're going to have to sign him to a long-term deal. Any team that tries to get Lamar Jackson via trade or via this situation right now through the non-exclusive tag, you're going to give up a massive haul. If you go through the non-exclusive tag, you got to give up 2 first-round picks and pay him a max deal. If you don't go through there and you try to trade for Lamar Jackson, you're giving up a lot of picks and probably some players. You're probably giving up a good chunk of picks, a good chunk of players, and then you got to pay him a max deal. How many teams out there are willing to do that right now? So I just don't know how this goes. I've seen people say trade him because the people that are frustrated with this and have turned on Lamar, they said trade him, and I'm like, trade him where? Who's going to give up a max haul for Lamar? Because you have to give up those picks, and then you got to sign him to a max deal. So really, what are you going to look to do? What team is looking to do that right now? I mean, unless you're going to send him to one of those teams that's not even competing, but even those guys are trying to get those picks to get back in order. I don't know how this is going to go for the most part. I think EDC is mainly focused on Lamar's extension as to why he isn't picking up anyone in free agency. I mean, they're certainly picking up phone calls, and well, they're certainly putting in phone calls and trying to negotiate. I don't think the office is just silent and just saying we're not going to try and get anybody. They're always going to look to try and get somebody. But the thing about the Ravens is they're always looking for an opportunity that benefits them. Well, you know, they always like to do low risk, low reward type situations. They don't like taking those type of gambles. So when they see a huge player come in free agency, they'll throw an offer that benefits them, and it doesn't really lead to it's not a high risk, high reward type of offer. And most teams are going to deny those things for a big max time player. So Baltimore will be interested in the player, but they won't go after him, and they won't really be able to get anything done. For example, the reports are coming out and saying that the Ravens are interested in getting Odell. I'd put money on it right now. Odell's not going to be a Raven. I'd put money on that right now. They're not paying him $15 to $20 million a year. They're not. They could be interested in him. They're not paying him that type of money. I don't see that happening. So they're not going to go for the big splashes. I'm sure they're getting phone calls and they're picking up and trying to reach out to other teams or other players in free agency. But I don't see much coming from it. This is just what the Ravens do. This is how they've always been. Nothing's going to change from that. That's just how it is. Oh, this is Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. It's Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 that's playing. I'm going to get into this eventually. I'm going to play at least a match or two here because I don't expect to be long in this live stream, but it is what it is. It doesn't look like a lot of teams are trying to sign Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's part of it. It's just the whole aspect of you have to sign him to this max deal and you have to give up 2 first-round picks. Baltimore was smart by putting him on the non-exclusive tag because they knew they were not going to lose Lamar. What team is going to be crazy enough to offer him a huge max deal and give up draft picks? You're going to give up 2 first-round draft picks and sign that man to a max deal? Baltimore didn't believe there was a team out there that was going to do so. They did not believe there was a team that was going to go out there and actually not only sign Lamar to a max deal or give him a max offer, but also give up those first-round picks. They don't believe there's a team out there that's going to do so. So I don't see how big of a market he can do. And again, I recently just made a video. I think I posted it. It should be already up on the channel. But if you're looking at it, let me see if I can pull it up again. If you're looking at the teams that were, kind of on that list in terms of guys that could be looking to get him, let's see if I can actually find this though too. Because there's a list of teams that we had on that list that could try to get him. Teams like the Raiders. What's going on, Josh? Teams like the Raiders, teams like the Bucks, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Panthers, even the Colts. All of those guys went and signed the quarterback. Raiders got Jimmy Garoppolo. First of all, the Raiders, I don't even think they have the money to afford a top-tier quarterback. I don't see that. I don't see it. They went and signed Jimmy Garoppolo. That's their guy. That's the replacement for Derek Carr. So you can take the Raiders out. The Bucks signed Baker Mayfield. That's not a huge deal, but I don't know if Tampa Bay even got the money right now because obviously we know the sacrifices they made and the contracts they took on in order to go get a Super Bowl championship, and it worked out for them. Now they're losing those players. Do they even have the money to try and go get Lamar? Not to mention, I haven't seen a single report that has said Tampa Bay is interested in going to get Lamar Jackson. So I don't see how that's going to work out. The Commanders, a team I would have loved to have seen go after Lamar Jackson, they signed Jacoby Brissett. The fact that they signed Jacoby Brissett makes me believe that they are going to see what Sam Howell brings to the table. They're going to see what Sam Howell brings to the table. Jacoby Brissett is there to be the veteran presence to help Sam Howell out, to teach him and navigate him as to the ropes of being an NFL quarterback. And at the end of the day, if they don't want to start Howell immediately, Jacoby Brissett is a solid quarterback that can get you wins in this league. So I don't see the Commanders looking to go and get Lamar Jackson. The Falcons, they want to sign Taylor Heineke. They took him away from Washington, signed him. I don't know what the Falcons' plans are. But the fact that they went and signed another quarterback, because the thing about it is, if there was any team you thought could get Lamar, would be the Falcons. We saw reports prior to the deadline for the franchise tag. We saw reports that the Falcons were trying to trade for Lamar Jackson. But then the Ravens put the non-exclusive tag, and all of a sudden, Falcons out of the mix. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know about the Falcons. I feel like they could be out. The Panthers are certainly out. They traded a bunch of picks and DJ Moore to get the first overall pick away from Chicago. So they're going down the route of drafting a quarterback. They're not trading for Lamar. Dolphins are dedicated to Tua. So people that thought Lamar was going to go to Miami, the Dolphins have made it clear they're dedicated and committed to Tua. They're trying to figure that situation out long term. And then you got the Colts. They signed Gardner Minshew, and I think the Colts are probably the only team that you could really look at and say they might go after Lamar Jackson, because there was a report that came out that said the Colts aren't fully confident in the quarterback drafting in the quarterback class this year, so they may potentially be interested in going after Lamar Jackson. But I don't know how much that's gonna hold up. The only other team you could think that would at least attempt to get Lamar would have to be the Jets. But the Jets right now seem fully committed to getting Aaron Rodgers, and we'll have to see how that situation works out, and we'll just have to go there from that point of view. So it is what it is. I just don't know what the market could really be. Could they trade for D-Hop? Of course they can trade for D-Hop. Question is, are they going to? I wouldn't be surprised to see another team trade for D-Hop and get something there. It's very likely. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, all these teams have signed quarterbacks, so I don't know exactly what the market's going to be. Raiders can't even fire a coach. I'm surprised they even got Jimmy G. That's the thing. A lot of people were talking about Las Vegas early on, and I'm like, how is that going to work? They can't even afford to fire Josh McDaniels because they literally won't be able to afford to pay him, so they can't fire him. How would they be able to afford a max contract? What's good, Casper? How you doing, bro? Appreciate you stopping by. So that's just how it is. Lamar is going to New England. I don't see how Lamar is going to New England. I don't see how that correlates. I don't know what New England's plan is at quarterback. They don't seem fully committed to Mac Jones, and I did talk about this in my video. They seem like they're not fully sure about Mac Jones, but I don't know if the Patriots are willing to give up 2 first-round picks and give a quarterback a contract that they never even came close to giving Tom Brady. I don't see Robert Kraft making that deal happen. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I really don't see it. I actually didn't. I actually forgot to make a March Madness bracket, which I'm happy I did because 3 of the teams that I was looking to pick got upsetted today. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't make a bracket. A lot of upsets happened, but that's March Madness for you for the most part. I don't see New England trying to go after Lamar Jackson because I need a haircut. I don't see them going after Lamar Jackson because I don't see them trying to pay a contract that they never even came close to giving that to Brady. Why would they? No, I don't see New England giving up that type of money and 2 first-round picks for Lamar. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Dolphins are not dedicated to Tua. Please do not say that. They utilized their 5th. Did they utilize? What did they do? They picked up his 5th-year option, didn't they? They picked up his 5th-year option. So clearly, if they weren't dedicated to seeing what they got with Tua, they wouldn't have picked up his 5th-year option. We talked about this last year. We said, coming into last year, we said that was Tua's last chance to prove he could be the franchise quarterback for this team. And barring the injuries, when he was on the field, when he was playing, when he was healthy, no concussions, none of that, he played really well. Go look at his numbers. Yeah, there was some ups and downs with Tua at times. And obviously, we know how he played during that 4-game losing streak. We understand that. But you look at his numbers overall throughout the season, Tua played really well. And honestly, he really did earn another shot. They picked up his 5th-year option for a reason. So I don't see Miami going out and trading for Lamar Jackson. If you were going to go and trade for Lamar Jackson, why would you pick up the 5th-year option of Tua? To try and make some sort of quarterback swap? Why would Baltimore want Tua? If there was any potential opportunity that I could see a quarterback swap potentially happening, it would be with Chicago. Lamar Jackson for Justin Fields. That would work, and that would be able to fit within Baltimore's overall scheme of not having to change much. And they could do what they want to do with Justin Fields, but Chicago has no interest in trading Justin Fields. They just got a bunch of picks and another receiver for him. They're building something in Chicago because they believe in Justin Fields. So I could see that there, but I don't see that for Tua. So Miami picked up his 5th-year option. They're willing to give this another shot. They liked what they saw from him when he was healthy. Question is, will he be healthy in the long run? And that's always been the question about Tua throughout his career. You just don't know. But Miami does not look like they're trying to move on from Tua right now. That doesn't seem like it is what it is. The 5th-year option is cheaper than putting the franchise tag on him next year for $40 million. And let me ask you this. What happens if he gets hurt next season? Then you're stuck paying $40 million. Here's the thing, though. They understand his injury history. Why not just, how about you don't pick up the 5th-year option? You don't franchise tag him. You let him walk. Why not let him walk? That's my question. Why are they picking up his 5th-year option if they don't believe in him? They don't have to franchise tag him. They don't have to pick up his 5th-year option. If they thought to themselves, they're not interested, if they sat back and said, we don't want Tua as our long-term quarterback, they wouldn't have picked up a 5th-year option. There's some interest in seeing if he really could be the guy. Otherwise, you don't pick up his 5th-year option. You don't. You move on from him. You could have allowed him to go into free agency, but Miami picked up his 5th-year option for a reason. So it doesn't matter about whether or not it's more or it's cheaper or more expensive than a franchise tag. If they weren't interested in seeing if Tua could really be the guy, they wouldn't have picked up his 5th-year option. They would have just let him walk. So no, I don't think they're ready to move off of Tua. They saw enough last year to convince them that this could be the guy. The only concern with Tua is his health, and that is a hurdle the Miami Dolphins are going to have to face in terms of whether or not they believe he can be here long term. So they may want to give him another shot this upcoming season to see how he fares. That's just how it is at the end of the day. I think the Ravens will eventually sign a free agent, but it'll be somebody nobody expected. I mean, that's usually how things go. If you ever see the Ravens are interested in the player, you might as well just check out and say they're not getting that player. A lot of the moves they made, from Earl Thomas to Marcus Peters to Calais Campbell, these were moves we didn't even know were in the works. We didn't even know. It just came out of nowhere. Ravens usually make moves that aren't really reported until, boom, it's in our face. But when they're interested in the player, yeah, it usually doesn't work out for Baltimore. So I think that's just how it is. I don't know if they're going to resign Marcus Peters. We'll just have to see about that. Yeah, Washington Commanders don't want LJ. Yeah, it's clear as day. They've already shown they're not interested. They're not interested in getting him. They're not interested in getting him. I would have loved, because again, you look at what Washington has. Look at what they have defensively. Look at that defense the Commanders have. Look at the weapons they have on offense. And now you got Eric Bieniemy. For the longest time, Washington has been missing a franchise quarterback. They have spent the better parts of 2 decades just throwing money away and giving up all the picks in the world to go pick up these free agents and make these trades for these veteran guys. If there was any time you would want Washington to do that, this would be the case. If you put Lamar Jackson on that Commanders team, they become instant contenders. Look at the defense Washington has. Look at the weapons Lamar would have on that Washington offense. And he would be with Eric Bieniemy. That would be an instant contending team. But Washington's not interested in that. They're not interested in giving him a long-term deal. They're not interested in giving up those first-round picks. They want to see what Sam Howell can do. So it is what it is. I would love Lamar Jackson on the Commanders. That would be a huge W for me. But at the end of the day, Washington doesn't seem interested in doing that. So we'll just have to see how Sam Howell works, as well as Jacoby Brissett, who I probably would put money down that he would most likely, depending on how training camp goes. I think that's the key. Training camp this year will have to be the key, because if they don't like what they're seeing from Sam Howell and feel that he needs a little bit more time, Jacoby Brissett will be the starter come week 1. But we'll just have to see. Lamar probably got colluded. I mean, potentially, I don't know. I like how Lamar is holding his ground regardless of the outcome. They have disrespected him for 5 years. I mean, he's going to do what he has to do in order to try and get a contract, but I have no clue. Going 14-2 probably feels like a lifetime ago. I mean, it's been 3 years. I guess it feels like a lifetime ago. Baltimore is not used to being the number 1 seed. Because, like, again, 2019 was just a rarity. The last time I remember us being, like, the number 1 seed was 2006. And we choked in the first round there, too. Wasn't it against the Colts? So, yeah, 2006 was, like, the last time I remember us being the number 1 seed. So, I mean, it's not like I'm expect Baltimore to be that top contending team in terms of records. They're usually around the 10 to 12 area. Most seasons, they're around 10 to 12 wins. No matter what the scenario is going into it, they're usually around 10 to 12 wins. If it's a bad season, they're around 6 to 8. But usually they're around that 10 to 12. We've had a couple of 9s, but like they're usually around that 6. They're usually around that 10 to 12 area for wins. Maybe that gets them the division. Maybe it gets them a wild card spot. That's usually how it is. Over the last couple of years, though, I mean, prior to Lamar coming here, we were around that 7 to 9 area, and that's just how it is. And of course, our worst season was the 5-11 season in 2015, and that sucked. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not used to the 14-2. Those are just rare seasons from the Ravens. Most Ravens fans are used to like. Well, it used to be 10-6, but now it's 10-7, 11-6, 12-5. That's kind of our range. So I'm not 14-2 doesn't mean anything to me. It's about what you do in the playoffs, because the 2 championship runs we had, we weren't the number 1 seed. So yeah. Would Baltimore take Tua over Lamar? No, dude. I don't know who's willing to take Tua with his injury history. I don't know if anybody's willing to take Tua. First of all, the fact that he's already dealt with multiple concussions just last year, that's a huge red flag for any team to even attempt to do that. So I just don't see it happening. Second of all, people still have questions about the strength of his arm. Even though he showcased it, people still have questions of that. So I don't know. Those 2 factors would really stop a lot of teams from even going after Tua. So no, Baltimore would not take Tua. The only quarterback I could see them going out and trying to do an exchange for would be Justin Fields. And Chicago's not trading away Justin Fields. So, no. Have you watching the XFL? It's honestly not bad. I've been watching a lot of XFL. I've been watching it. It's been interesting. I do like some of the rules that they do have. Like, when it comes to the extra point situation, they don't kick for extra points. They go for 1, they go for 2, and they go for 3. I like that. I like having your offense go out there and earn all those points. Okay, don't give them a free extra point for the most part. I mean, we say it's free, but nowadays with the way kickers are missing, it's not exactly entirely free. But I do like them going for that. You know, give them the opportunity. It gives teams an opportunity to always stay in the game, because you always have the opportunity to score 9 points on every drive, and that's the case. And I just like that. And then the 4th and 15 rule in the 4th quarter, I do like that, because when you look at it, how often do teams even get an onside kick? It feels like if you got to revert to an onside kick, the game's over. Most of us turn off the TV at that point. Like, I don't do that because I'm live streaming the game, so I have to be here to the end. But most of us are just watching a regular football game. We turn the TV off 9 times out of 10 once the onside kick comes, because we know it's so rare for an onside kick to be actually successful that, you know, it's a rarity. So you don't see it often, and most of the time teams are competent enough to pick up the onside kick. But that 4th and 15 is interesting. And I would like to, I mean, I don't know if we should convert that to the NFL because with the way quarterbacks are playing, especially the AFC nowadays, you give Mahomes and the Chiefs an opportunity on 4th and 15, you're basically guaranteeing them a first down. So I don't know if we want to convert that aspect, but I do like the extra point aspect. I would love to see that be in the NFL. But yeah, there's been some interesting games for the most part in the XFL, and I think it's nice. I do like that. I do like that for the most part. Yeah, they're going to go with Sam Howell, so we'll see how that works out. Chris Grier does not want to admit that they got another first-round draft pick bust. I mean, they're not getting rid of Tua, bro. They're just not. I know y'all have such a complicated relationship with Tua that I'm not going to get into that here. But a lot of y'all, even when he was playing well, y'all still didn't trust him. The person upset gives me a hope that Maryland can be. I mean, hey, Maryland managed to pull off the victory early on. That was good on them, but I don't know if they're gonna. I don't see them going far, but they at least made it to the first. We'll see what they do. But I don't know. When are you making a mock draft? I don't know. I have to sit back and really think about it. I don't know if I'm probably look to make a mock draft, but I don't know when I'm going to. I still have time. The draft ain't here just yet, but I still have time. I'll think about it. Don't understand how people in Miami are complaining about the offensive line when we can get Derrick Henry real fast to fix that problem. I mean, I don't know. I mean, depends on what you're willing to give up to get a Derrick Henry. And I don't know. Tennessee they're still debating whether or not they want to actually give up Derrick Henry right now. So it is something that's a long-term situation. Destination for Zeke. Zeke could potentially go to Miami. You know, the Cowboys have officially washed their hands of him, and he's now a free agent. So Zeke could head to Miami. That would be an interesting pickup, but I don't know if Miami's really looking to pick up Zeke, and I don't know how much he's got left in the tank because his final years in Dallas were not productive. Considering the fact that he literally looked like one of, if not the best running back his first 2 to 3 years in the league. That's just how it is at the end of the day for the most part. But yeah, in terms of the market for Lamar Jackson, I don't know if you could sit back and say there's a huge market for Lamar. I'm being serious. I just don't. I don't know how big of a market you could sit back and say there is for Lamar. I'm just looking at the teams and I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I legitimately don't know. I'm really thinking about it right now. The Colts, I still think, could be in this race. Where does Austin Eckler end up, in your opinion? I don't know. He's looking to get paid, and I don't know. At this stage, I don't know. At this stage of his career, I really don't know how many teams are willing to give up. It depends. I think if you're looking at Eckler, he may be looking to go to a contending team. Miami could be one of those options, honestly. Buffalo's still trying to figure out this running back situation, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Imagine if the Steelers trade for Lamar. They would never trade for Lamar, and Baltimore would never trade Lamar to the Steelers. That's just not a deal that's going to happen. It's just not. We don't have to imagine it. It's just not going to happen. There's a market for Lamar. It's kept very quiet. What's the rush? San Francisco 49ers is at play. They don't have to make a move until after the draft. I don't know if the Niners are in play here because their whole quarterback situation is complicated. And again, what are you doing with Trey Lance? They gave up a lot for Trey Lance, and that didn't work out. Are they willing to give up even more draft picks and that type of money? I don't know if San Francisco's in play. I have messed around with the idea that San Francisco can go get Lamar, and if he was on the Niners, that's a Super Bowl contending team automatically, but I don't know if they're willing to take that type of chance. I don't know. Shanahan and that group willing to take that type of risk? They sacrificed a lot to get Trey Lance. They gave up a lot to get this man. I think they're low-key still dedicated to him being the franchise guy. Just all the talk you've been hearing from the Niners, they're still low-key dedicated to him being the guy. I don't know if the Niners are still at play. I feel that the Colts I think the Colts have a better chance. If we're being honest, the Colts probably have a better chance of getting Lamar than the Niners do. I just think because the whole quarterback situation in San Francisco right now is very, very, very complicated. They made it less complicated by finally getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, so that's a plus. But I don't know. They're still very dedicated to Trey Lance, and I just don't know what you do with that. So the Colts are probably the best chance here. Colts, if this situation with Aaron Rodgers doesn't work, the Jets may immediately drive to go get Lamar. But we don't know. We don't know. If I was Lamar, I would sit out knowing that the salary cap is going to go up and the YouTube deal is going to be implemented after next year anyways, which means more revenue. Lamar's not sitting out. Lamar will never sit out. Lamar, the guy that constantly talks about wanting to win a Super Bowl, he's not going to give up a year of his prime to sit out just for this. He's not going to. There's been reports that talks about this. They said if he ends up still being here and he's on the tag, he's going to play on the tag. There hasn't been any reports about him sitting out. If he's still on the tag, he's going to play on the tag. Lamar is not trying to give up a year of his prime for this contract situation. He'll just play, and he'll figure it out later. But he's not willing to give up a year of his prime to sit out for this contract situation. That's just not how Lamar is built. The guy that talks about wanting to win a Super Bowl every single year, nah. If he was going to sit out, he would have done it last season, but he didn't. All right, that's not it, bro. He's going to play on the tag. He's going to play on the tag. That's just how it is. So I wouldn't count on that happening. He already said he'd play on the tag, so everyone can forget the idea of him sitting out. He personally said that? I didn't know. I mean, I've heard several reports saying that Lamar would play on the tag, but I didn't know he personally said he was going to play on the tag. That makes things interesting for the most part. But yeah, I don't see. We don't know anything until it happens. I mean, that's true, but you think Lamar is going to you think he's willing to give up a year of his prime? Football is not a long career. It's not. You think he's willing to give up a year of his prime to sit out for a contract when he could still play this year on the tag and figure out this contract situation? He's not missing a year of his career. So let me get this straight. You said he won't give up a year of his prime, but he gave up a playoff game in his prime life. Dude, I don't even know what to say about that. Every single person, from the players to the coaches to the people at the top of the organization, everybody that's spoken on this said Lamar was too hurt to play. You're free to make your own assessments and opinion, but from the players that are surrounded by him, his teammates, the coaches, the front office, everybody in Baltimore that's dealing with this complicated problem with this contract, every single one of them said Lamar was too hurt to not play in that playoff game. So if you want to sit back and make the assumption that he chose to sit out and not play in that playoff game, you're free to. But even the people he's fighting with right now, he's fighting with the organization. He's fighting with the front office to get his contract. The people he's fighting with right now went to bat for him and said he was too hurt to be able to play. His teammates have said it. His coaches have said it. The front office have said it. They all said he was too hurt to play. But if you want to make the assessment that he chose to sit out, by all means do so. You're free to make that opinion. There's a difference between one game and one entire season. Besides, he was injured. I mean, yeah, again, from his teammates to the coaching staff to the people at the top of the front office, all of them said he was too injured to play. If you want to make the assessment that he chose to sit out, you're free to. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Watson did it and got the highest salary in the league as a quarterback guaranteed. Deshaun Watson's situation is completely different. He didn't choose to sit out for a contract. You know what the Watson situation is. What are you doing? You think he chose to sit out? He couldn't play. He didn't choose to sit out a year. You think the reason he wasn't playing for the 2021 season is because he chose to sit out for a contract? You cannot use the Deshaun Watson situation. You know damn well that's not the case. But he sat out the whole season. It wasn't his choice. It wasn't his choice to sit out. It was not his decision to sit out. You know why he didn't play football in 2021. We all know why he didn't play football in 2021. It wasn't to sit out for a contract because the dude already got paid by them. He had a contract prior to what happened with this whole situation. So why would he sit out? The Deshaun Watson situation doesn't even make sense because, again, in 2020, he got paid a contract. The Texans gave him a multi-year deal. He had his contract extension. Then this whole situation happened, which I'm not going to get into, and he basically couldn't play because of that. What? Nah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy statement right there. That's a crazy statement right there for the most part. I don't know. The Niners and Detroit and the Colts. I don't. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna take Detroit out right now. The way Jared Goff played last year, I don't know if the Lions are looking to move off that. It's easy to sit back and say, we get Lamar, we can solve all our problems, but they're building something special in Detroit. They're building something special in Detroit. And Jared Goff had a really good season last year. I don't think Detroit's looking to give up a max deal to a quarterback and give up 2 first-round picks. They want to build on what they have. A lot of people think the Lions can make the playoffs this upcoming season because of what they showcased in the second half of last season. I don't think Detroit's trying to mess with that by going to sacrifice picks in a lot of cap space to get Lamar Jackson. So I think you can take Detroit out of this. Now the Colts could probably still be in it. The Niners, again, their quarterback situation is still complicated. They invested a lot in Trey Lance, and I don't know if they're ready to move off him yet. So I don't know about that one. But the Colts, I can give you the Colts. I think the Colts have the best chance to get him right now. Deshaun Watson did. Point being, no, that's not even remotely close to the same point. You're making it seem like he sat out and chose to sit out in order to get a deal. The only reason Cleveland just gave him that deal for the sake of giving them that deal. They just didn't want to lose him. They fought hard to get him in that sweepstakes, and they didn't want to lose him. But you're saying he sat out and got a deal. That's just Cleveland being stupid. Every single, from the fans to the media, everybody called Cleveland out on their stupidity for what they did with the Deshaun Watson deal because it messed up the market. The dude already had a contract extension that was given to him by the Texans. He sat out a year. Cleveland desperately wanted him and felt that we not only want him, we want him here for a long time. So they just threw that deal at him. They just threw it at him. How often are franchises just going to throw a random deal like that at a player because they desperately want him? Not often. So, like, that situation does not correlate. It's not like he sat out for a specific... He had no choice but to not play football for a year. And Cleveland was dumb enough to give him that deal, which we've all said. So it doesn't stand the same. That's like saying, oh, if you're Lamar... It seems like you're trying to, like, correlate... Well, Watson sat out. Obviously, you didn't say he chose to sit out, but you're saying Watson sat out and he got a deal, so Lamar could do the same thing that happened. No, that's not really how that works. That's not how that works at all. That is not even remotely close to how that works at all. What Lamar is going through right now is very similar to what Kirk Cousins went through with with Washington. It's the similar situation, because Kirk Cousins was franchise tagged twice before he could actually eventually get his deal, and that could very well be the same circumstance for Lamar Jackson. That could very well happen here. That's an entirely different thing. Ravens will get Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. 49ers is a team willing to give up anything to win the Super Bowl. Again, why would the Ravens want that? It's not even saying Ravens will get this or get that. Would the Ravens want that? You have to think of both sides. What would Ravens do with Trey Lance? What are the Ravens going to do with Trey Lance? We've seen nothing from him. What would the Ravens do with Trey Lance? They're not giving... And Brock Purdy, they don't want Brock Purdy, bro. Like, especially that Trey Lance thing that you're saying they'll give up... No, this isn't Madden, bro. What would the Ravens do with Trey Lance? What has he shown in the league so far that would make you think that they're going to give up Lamar Jackson to get Trey Lance? And not to mention, I've never seen a deal where you give up 2 quarterbacks to get 1. This is not Madden, bro. Come on, man. They're not going to give up both their quarterbacks. Who's going to be the backup? Who's going to be the backup? They're going to give up, there are 2 quarterbacks that are on the roster right now to get Lamar Jackson. And you think Baltimore's like, oh, we can get Trey Lance to show us nothing. We have no idea what he's going to do. And Brock Purdy, that suffered a serious elbow injury and is coming off of surgery. Oh, give me that for Lamar Jackson. Easy money. This ain't Madden, bro. This is not Madden. This is not Madden. Why does everyone keep saying Lamar wants that Deshaun Watson deal? Did he come out and say that or reestablish that the media just made that up and ran with it? I mean, we don't know what Lamar Jackson wants, and he has not told us what Lamar Jackson wants. People are going to make their assumptions. I have no clue what he wants, and I'm not going to try to estimate or guess what he wants. People are just going to make their own decision. That's just how it is. All I'm saying is Cleveland was dumb enough to do it. You said it, not me. What makes you think there's not another dumb team wanting to do the same? What other dumb team's just going to... First of all, again, Lamar Jackson sitting out, he's still going to be on the Ravens team. Like, he can't go sign with another team. You understand that he can't just sign with another team. You understand that, right? Like, he could choose to sit out and not sign that tenure, but he can't sign with another team. So eventually, he's going to have to sign that tenure, and then he would have to talk and negotiate with the Ravens to try and get a deal like that done. Like, Lamar just can't sit out and all of a sudden someone's going to throw that deal. It's like, oh, I'm going to take it. No, he can't just do that. You can't just sit out. You could choose to not take the tag, but you can't just go play anywhere else. It's not like not accepting the tag automatically makes Lamar Jackson a free agent. Like, if he chooses not to sign a tag and sits out, he can't just, like, go to another team. That's not how that works. And again, you're making speculations, but again, it's just not going to work out in a situation like that. If Lamar ends up in Detroit, would you think the same thing? Detroit's not looking to get Lamar. Detroit's not trying to give up on... Right now, Detroit is building something. Based on what they did last year, Jared Goff had a great year. They had a great season. They loved what... Go and look at everything that's coming out of Detroit right now. They loved what they got from Jared Goff last year. They loved what they saw from this team last year. And they got some draft picks that they're looking to add to bolster this. Detroit's not moving away from their plan. You got to use another team. Use Atlanta. Detroit is not moving away from their plan. Detroit's not the team that's looking to get Lamar. They're just not. They're not looking to move from that plan right now. Like, the way things are trending upwards for them, Detroit's not the team. Detroit's not the team. Jared Goff had the best year of his career since 2018. Since the Super Bowl year when he was with the Rams, that was the best season he had. And the way that team played in the second half, that's just a different thing. Like, that's not the team. You got to go look for another one. You got to go look for another one. Lamar Jackson is never going to play for the Ravens ever again. It's bad blood there. This organization has disrespected him, and they never believed in him, period. Well, then he's going to have to get traded somewhere else, but I don't know where he's going to get traded. If that's the... First of all, if that's the case, I don't know. We are all making these speculations. Everything is coming out of speculations. We have no idea how Lamar feels about the Ravens organization. We don't know. We have taken this at face value. If it's truly a situation that can't be fixed, then he's going to have to get traded. They're not just going to release him. He's going to have to get traded. But again, what team out there is going to trade for Lamar Jackson, give up a huge haul, and then sign him to a long-term contract? This is going to be a very difficult process. That's the next thing I asked, because I talked about that. I'm like, okay, if this whole situation doesn't happen with the tenure, what team is willing to give up a huge haul of picks to get Lamar and then sign him for a max contract? What team? How many teams out there are willing to do that? That's a very difficult thing. So again, we are free to make those speculations and saying he's not going to play, even though there's been reports saying he will play on the franchise tag. Again, who's willing to make those trades? Who's willing to make those trades? Has Detroit paid Jared Goff yet? I mean, he's still on the contract. They still have this contract that he signed with the Rams. So, I mean, that's not up. They're not looking to... He's still... Like, if we look at... I'm pretty sure he's still got 2 years left on this deal. So, you don't automatically have to restructure or look for a contract to deal with contract extension now. So, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, he still has a couple years left on the contract that the Rams gave him. I don't know if that's the case. Let me actually look at that. I want to look at Jared Goff's contract for the most part. Yeah, Jared Goff has 2 years left on his contract. Detroit doesn't have to make a move regarding extending Jared Goff's contract for at least another season. So we would have to address this whole situation next year. The man's got 2 years left. If we don't know what if you don't know what Lamar Jackson wants, then what makes you think he won't end up in New England with an owner who has more cheese than you and me combined? Because New England's never paid a quarterback that type of money. If they weren't willing to pay that type of money for Tom Brady, why the hell would they do that for Lamar? I'm just acting logically. You guys are pointing out teams that don't really make sense in this equation. The Colts are sitting right there. There's only been like a few people that named the Colts. The Colts are sitting right there. There's been reported the Colts they don't fully believe in what they're seeing in the quarterback draft class this year. And they're looking to potentially go after Lamar Jackson. It's right there. The Colts have the capital to do this. They're looking for a franchise guy. So the Colts would be a better pick. You think Robert Kraft is going to give you think he's going to give top tier money to Lamar Jackson when he never did that for Tom Brady? You think the Patriots, who operate like that, you think they're willing to give up multiple first round picks And the way that organization is run, you think they're willing to give up multiple first round picks and then pay a huge contract for one player? When have the Patriots ever run like that? If he didn't give that type of money to Brady, why the hell would he do that for Lamar? Thoughts on the Ja situation? I'm not getting into that. All I'm saying is I hope Ja learned from this for the most part. He said, he's going to look to, rectify this and continue to improve on himself and do whatever it takes to, erase the look. He knows what he did. He knows what he did. I don't want to get too much into it. He knows how this whole situation went, how it looks on him, and he's just working on himself and looking to rectify the mistakes he made. He's young. He's a young guy. He made mistakes. Every young guy makes mistakes. Honestly, I didn't even have a problem with him being in the strip club. We know all these athletes are in there. Dude, James Harden spent... This ain't even about James Harden, but do you know these athletes go there? It's perfectly normal. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole thing about him flashing a gun on IG, though, was dumb. And again, we don't fully know, but from what they said, he might have been intoxicated. He did something stupid. He's made a couple mistakes. He's young. He's going to figure it out. But it shouldn't be the end of the world for him. Obviously, the NBA feels like it's also not going to be the end of the world for him because they suspended him for 8 games. And I mean, technically, he served like 6 of the... He could come back really soon. Like, looking at it, he'll be back soon. I think he's missing like 2 more games, and technically, he could start playing again. So, the whole situation been rectified. They'll just move on from there and just go from there. But, yeah, Ja... I just hope Ja learned from the situation for the most part and just grows. He's a young man. Just continue to improve. You don't need to worry about the past mistakes you made. Accept the past mistakes, take responsibility, which is what he did, and look to improve from that. That's all I got to say about the Ja situation. Say Lamar stays on the Ravens and goes into free agency. The team as it stands at this moment that would be in the market would be quarterback needy teams like Vegas, Washington, and Atlanta. Vegas just signed Jimmy Garoppolo to a 3-year deal. They're not looking for him. Washington just picked up Jacoby Brissett, and it seems like they're invested in seeing what Sam Howell brings up. And Atlanta's the one I thought would be interested, but I don't know what they're doing. Indianapolis is the one I feel could be the biggest one out of all of this. That's just how it is. At least for the most part. This dude's on the NFL side. He's suspect. Yeah, you keep making that assumption, even though I've been one to constantly preach that players need to get paid. And I've also called out many fans that have straight up taken the side of owners and organizations as opposed to playing the player. I've said this on several occasions. I'm always going to be on the side of the player to get paid. These organizations are ran by billionaires that are willing to undercut and underpay whoever the hell they can for the sake of continuing to have their money. They know what they're doing. I'm always going to be on the side of the players. I was always on the side of the players when it came to the NBA. I'm always going to be on the side of the players when it comes to the NFL. And I want Lamar Jackson to get his money. But it doesn't mean that every team's going to go through that. It doesn't mean every team's going to be willing to do so. I want him to get paid. I want Baltimore to give his money. I've said this on several videos. Just pay the man. But things don't always work out like this. It's a business. And the business knows what it's doing. And in a league like this, they also know what they're doing. But you're free to make the assumption that I'm on the NFL side. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't really care. But yeah, Atlanta, I don't know. I don't know about Atlanta. I think Atlanta could look to get him, but I just don't know what they're doing. Because they were interested in trading for him, and then he got tagged, and they're like, we're no longer interested. I still think Atlanta's in the mix, but I think the Colts have a better chance now. Irsay not breaking bread like that. And if he do, Steve gonna match. I mean, we'll see. Sometimes you just don't know about Irsay. If Irsay wants something, he's gonna go and get it. We know if Irsay wants something. If Jim Irsay wants something, he's going to go get it. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's over. Lamar's gone, believe it. They'll wait until after the draft. The Ravens are already preparing to start looking for a quarterback. If it happens, so be it. At the end of the day, I said if he's gone, he's gone. If he's here, he's here. I don't control that. If he's gone, I don't have to believe it or accept it. I've already sat back and said if he gets traded, so be it. If they sign him, so be it. Anything can happen. It's a business at the end of the day. If he's gone, he's gone. What am I supposed to do, cry about it? If he's gone, he's gone. If he's here, he's here. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. For all I know, he could be playing for the Ravens next year. And for all we know, he could be on another team. Now, you're free to assume that he's gone. It doesn't mean he's going to be gone. We'll just see what happens. That's just how it is at the end of the day, for the most part. So, again, you're free to assume he's going to be gone. I don't know where he's going to go. I've opened up all the possibilities. I've opened up the possibilities of somebody in this market giving him an offer. He signs the offer sheet and Baltimore doesn't match it. I've opened up the possibility that he re-signs with the Ravens and they give him the money he wants. I've opened up the possibility that this doesn't happen and they eventually trade him. I've opened up all possibilities. Anything can happen at this point. But you, again, you are entitled to your opinion. We'll just see how things turn out. That's all I got to say about that for the most part. Oh, what's going on, Luis? Appreciate you stopping by. Feels like I haven't joined your live stream in a while. I haven't streamed in a while. It's been some time. So I think the last time I streamed was when Todd Monken got signed by the Ravens. Lamar deserves to be paid. Doesn't mean a team will actually give it to him. That's the case. He absolutely deserves to get paid the money he wants. But it doesn't mean that teams are going to be willing to give that type of money. And again, I feel like this whole situation is different if he's a free agent. I feel like this whole situation is different if he's a free agent. That's just how I feel it is. I feel that this whole situation for Lamar would be different if he's a free agent. Atlanta might, not saying definitely, but they might be playing the same game Cleveland did last year when they signed Deshaun Watson. They said they weren't pursuing Deshaun and then signed. Well, that's true because they threw an offer like... That's true because they said they were looking... Well, early on it was like Cleveland might be in it. Then they say we're out on Deshaun Watson. We heard that too. They are completely out and there's no chance he's going to get him. And then Cleveland throws this massive deal at Deshaun Watson and Watson's like, I'm going there. That could very well be the case. Atlanta may do the same. I don't know. That's why I said for me, I don't know what Atlanta's doing. I thought they were on the list. I put them on the list of one of the teams that's going to be in the market for Lamar Jackson, but I don't know. I had a couple teams. I said the Falcons could be in it. The Panthers early on I thought would be in it, but now they have the #1 pick, so I've taken them out. The Colts have been in it. I said the Jets are potentially in it. I've had teams that have been in it that I think that's going to look to go pursue Lamar Jackson. I still think the Falcons are in it, but I just don't know. They're a wild card to me. That's just how it is for the most part. But we'll just have to see for the most part. Either way, the market, I don't think the market is big for Lamar Jackson. But the thing about it is you don't need the market to be big. You just need one team to accept you. And if you had a team like the Colts that was looking to get him, then, hey, you got somebody there. You really just need one team. Like, that's all it comes down to. You just need one team to pursue Lamar and be like, yeah, I'll give him that money. You really just need one team. If you can get that one team, you're pretty much fine. I'm not going to be able to focus on this match. But yeah, you really just need one team. I'm missing everything to start off with. Okay. Let me calm down here. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, you really just need one team to be interested. And you can just go from there. That's pretty much it for the most part. But yeah, I don't know how big the market actually really is in terms of Lamar. I still think that was not what I was trying to do. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. But yeah, I think don't know how big you could say the market's gonna be. I didn't even use mine. Hold on for a second. Y'all been using y'all's a lot. Come on, bro. Why are you ducking me like this? Why are you ducking me like this? Why are you actually ducking me like that? I'm actually ducking me. My thing is this. What was Atlanta, Carolina, and Miami offering Watson before Cleveland's 230 deal? Honestly, I don't know. Those numbers never really came out. I walked right into that. Those numbers really never came out for the most part. So, I don't know what they actually offered Deshaun Watson prior to Cleveland giving that 230 deal. Just to finish this off real quick. There we go. Put him to bed. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I don't exactly know what. Oh God, I forgot there's a round 2. I don't exactly know what the deal was regarding Deshaun Watson prior to this, because I mean we never got a specific number. I don't know if those numbers ever did come out. Numbers necessarily didn't really come out. We kind of just went with whatever was kind of given to us at the time, and yeah, we'll just have to. At the end of the day, it didn't matter because Cleveland gave him the deal he was looking for. So Oh my god, I got caught twice. What's up, keeping it real? So what do we owe this honorary live stream? We're just talking about the Lamar Jackson market. We are talking about the Lamar Jackson market, and we're just seeing where that goes. There's not a lot of teams really here that's really gonna look to damn, hold on, let me use this real quick. No way he's gonna finish me here. No way he's gonna finish me here. Oh god, no! No, I don't have it. Oh my god, I only got substitutions. Damn it. Alright, bro, you got this for round 3. It's so hard to just focus in on, so hard to do what you gotta do, and at the same, oh wow, he's actually trying to turn this around. Let me back up for a second. Back up for a second. Hold on, you duck it real quick. What you ducking for? Ah!
I'll take care of this.
No way you caught me on that. But yeah, for the most part, there's not a lot of markets to specifically look at for Lamar Jackson, and you kind of just gotta go with whatever is necessarily given to you for the most part. But yeah, we're just talking about the Lamar Jackson market right now, and there's not a lot of teams that really are looking, or it doesn't seem like there's a lot of teams that may be interested in trying to get Lamar given the circumstances. That's the thing. It really doesn't look like there's a lot of teams that are looking to get him given the circumstances. I'm telling you right now, if Lamar Jackson was a free agent, this is an entirely different conversation. But teams right now, to give up a max deal and give up 2 first-round picks, very difficult to see that happen. I still think there's 1 or 2 teams that could do that, but I don't know. I don't know. Peace out, Casper. Browns was the only team desperate to give him a fully guaranteed deal. Pretty much for the most part, but you know, it could always go either way. You just don't know how things can work out. It matters because if they didn't cross that 200 guarantee, then I don't think they would do it now. I mean, that's the case. I don't know. I really, honestly don't know how these things are going to go for the most part. But yeah, it really comes down to maybe, I really think it comes down to 3 or 4 teams. Oh, this is okay. No, give me someone else. Give me someone else. Come on, just okay. I'll take the. What is this? The first Mizukage? Yes, the first Mizukage. Right? Or the 2. You know, I'm not even gonna worry about that. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, it can go either way. This dude. Who is this guy? Stats? You're just here to troll, aren't you? You are really just here to troll. You're saying a bunch of wild stuff. You are definitely here to troll. Which at that point, I can't even take anything you're saying. What the? Oh my god! I keep forgetting about his water powers. I completely forgot about that. Hold on for a second. This dude was really just saying anything to say anything. You're really just talking just to talk. Because right now, you definitely gotta be trolling with some of these statements. Just saying, you're just talking to talk right now. But yeah, again, it's gonna be difficult to see teams that are going to give up the 2 first-round picks and pay that max deal. I feel like if Lamar Jackson was a free agent, the market would have been huge if Lamar Jackson was a free agent. But because he's on that non-exclusive tag, it becomes difficult to really see how things are going to be assessed for the most part. But still, I think he still has a market, and I still think there's going to be a couple teams that's going to look to get him. Chill out for a second, lady. Chill out for a second. Oh, man. Oh, God. Missed that aspect. Oh, wow. Okay, I done really messed up here. I done really messed up. Payne's already in his damage mode. Look at this. Hold on.
You shall be brought to.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know. Now, since Lamar is allowed to talk, these teams might try to tell him we can't trade for you right now, but play 1 more year on the tag, and once you're a free agent, we will pay you what you want. But the thing is, the Ravens could always use a franchise tag on him again. That's the thing that kind of makes it a little bit difficult. Good show, bro. Stay safe. Everyone, good night. Peace out, man. We'll see how things happen. You know, the market can go anywhere, and I think any team that's actually really looking to get involved with it, they'll call him. We're not hearing anything right now, but that doesn't mean Lamar isn't getting calls. I still believe that he's probably getting calls. It just hasn't been reported. So I do believe there's teams that are interested, and the teams that are interested will definitely look to talk to Lamar. Oh, let me use this real quick. But yeah, I do believe he has a market. do you think? Oh, God. I wasn't ready for him to do that. Hold on for a second. Let me do this real quick. There you go. There you go. Nah, you can't move real quick. You can't move. You can't move. But yeah, I still do believe there is a market out there for Lamar, and those guys will look to get him in. They'll look to call Lamar. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know if he's getting calls or not. We can't just make the assumptions that he isn't. And I'm not gonna make the assumptions. We just don't know what's happening in terms of that. And I choose to believe that he is definitely getting calls. Oh, he's really trying, huh? No, I don't have any. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, no. There we go. But yeah, we just don't know. We just don't know. It's not even outrageous to blame Lamar's injuries / games he's been out for the Ravens for their lack of commitment. I mean, again, I don't think the injuries would be something you would want to look to hold up in terms of that. Because, again, I've said this. Deshaun Watson has torn his ACL in both his left and right knee, and he still got a D. He's still got a deal. Like, I don't see how you would use that to correlate. Anyone could get injured. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has a long history of injuries. That's just how it is. But, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know. Some people may be trying to use that, but I don't think that's something right here. If I was EDC, I would offer that. I mean, again, it depends. Oh, wait. I would have thought 10 years, $500 mil, $250 million guarantee would be a good deal, but Lamar might feel it's too long. I don't know. Again, that Patrick Mahomes, that's a baseball deal. And the fact that Mahomes got that was already wild in the first place. I don't see another team looking to sign a quarterback for 10 years. I don't know if that's the case, and I don't see the Ravens looking to do that. First off, Lamar needs to get rid of Felicia. Yeah, he has to get rid of his mother. That's what he should do. First thing Lamar's got to do is get rid of his mother. Now you're thinking. Now you're using your brain. I'm sure he's going to be doing that. Gotta admit, not having an agent has made the Lamar situation exhausting. It's made exhausting, but again, him having an agent versus not having an agent doesn't automatically guarantee he's gonna get the money he wants. Look at Orlando Brown Jr. He would have made over $100 million with the Chiefs. He turned that down. Now all of a sudden he's with the Bengals for what, 4 years, $64 million? He had an agent, and he ended up getting less money. He turned down $100+ million just to settle for $64 million. How does that work? You're not guaranteed to get the money you want with an agent. They're just using that as another trope. Because you gotta have the agent. If, let's say Lamar is asking for a fully guaranteed deal, how does having an agent convince the Ravens to give him that fully guaranteed deal? If they're not looking to give a fully guaranteed deal, the agent can say whatever nonsense he wants to say. It's not gonna guarantee it. So saying he needs an agent, no, it doesn't really. You don't know what the deal is, and you don't even know how much could be affected by an agent. Just saying an agent is going to make it a bit easier. No, this probably still would have been a stressful situation, especially if he was asking for a fully guaranteed deal, which again, we don't know if he is. So let's not just pretend that's the case. But just assuming that this situation would have been solved with an agent doesn't automatically correlate, because we just saw Orlando Brown Jr. He gave up $100+ million to go get $64 million with the Bengals. But I guess you only give your quarterback a 10-year deal if you truly believe in them. I don't know how often we've seen a 10-year deal. Because, I mean, even Brady wasn't getting has Brady ever gotten a 10-year deal? Have they done that with Brady? Did they, even when he was winning Super Bowls, did they give him a 10-year deal? I don't have any recollection of Brady getting a 10-year deal. That is such a rare thing to see in football. That's a baseball contract. It's rare to see that in football. So I don't know if that's something that's going to be common. I just don't know. It was a rare deal to see. It was a rare deal to see. But, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day for the most part. That's kind of just how things are for the most part. I just don't know. And wow, I have been here for over an hour. So I gotta head on out. I originally was supposed to be here for 30 minutes, but I've been here for an hour. So I definitely gotta head on out. That's my point. At least an agent will speak on his behalf and we would have more information available. Not saying the deal necessarily gets done. I mean, I guess it would be less exhausting for us to deal with, but it doesn't guarantee anything's really gonna happen. I mean, I guess it gives us a bit more clarity. And again, if Lamar doesn't want the information to come out, it's not going to come out. Because like an agent would be like, he could have more information available. Yeah, but if the Ravens don't want that to get out and Lamar Jackson doesn't want that to get out, the agent's not going to speak on it. Like, if you tell your agent, hey, they offered me a 5-year deal worth a 5-year 270 million, and they said 150 of that's guaranteed. Don't tell the media this. If Lamar told his agent, if he had an agent, he said, yeah, this is what they offered me. They offered me this, and that. This was the incentives, but do not share this information with the media. Guess what that agent is going to do? Not share it with the media. So we could still be stuck in the situation of not knowing anything, especially if Lamar and the Ravens want to keep everything private. It could very well be the case. But we just don't know. We just don't know. Anyway, I'm going to cut this here. I've been here for over an hour, and that was not the plan. But, you know, we've had a bit of a discussion about the market. I don't know where this is going to go for Lamar. We'll continue to discuss this within the coming days because I feel at some point there's going to be a team that's going to step up and make an offer to Lamar, and we're going to hear about it. But, yeah, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how things go. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you stopping by here. It's been a while since I've done a stream, you know, definitely got to get back into doing that, and obviously once the draft comes, obviously we'll be streaming that, but yeah, I definitely got to get back into streaming a little bit more. Don't know how consistent I'm going to be doing that, you know, once we hit the offseason, I kind of chill out. Once the playoffs come around, obviously the NBA playoffs, I'll be streaming more, but still, I'm not fully sure how consistent I'm going to be with that, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm definitely going to cut this here. I appreciate you guys tuning in, showing up for the stream. It's definitely been a while. You know what it is, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. With that being said, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man.